Hi, everyone. Welcome to the session on Create Your Own AI podcast. So, it's very good to see a lot of people tuning in for the session. So, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to the Build Your Own AI podcast session by Build Fast with AI. So, I'll just take 3-4 minutes of your time just to give you an introduction of who we are and what we do so that you are in a better situation to understand who is conducting the session and what do we generally do. So first of all, I would like to quickly introduce myself before anything. So my name is Satvik. I am the founder of Build Fast with AI. So I'll talk little bit about my background, and then I will also give you an introduction about what we do at Build Fast with AI and the different programs that we do. So I got educated from IIT Delhi. So I graduated around 5-6 years back, where I did both my bachelor's and master's there. And after my education at IIT, I went on to work for a couple of different multinational banks in various AI and ML roles. But while I was still at college, I started my first innings as an entrepreneur, where I started an edtech company while I was still at IIT. And my primary interest in teaching, conducting these sessions and everything comes from my initial experience as an entrepreneur in education space. So where we used to work with a lot of different organizations to help make education better. And after my college days, I dipped my toes into corporate, where I worked as a data scientist and AML engineer for a couple of multinational banks. And currently, I am in my second innings of entrepreneurship with Build Fast with AI. So one thing about Build Fast with AI that is different about, unique about this experience is that, so whatever I have experienced before starting Build Fast with AI, it could be my experience as a social entrepreneur or someone who is working in a tech space, and also my experience as data scientist. So I get to combine both my loves. So let's say my experience in education domain as well as my experience in AI and ML. So I get to combine both of those into Build Fast with AI currently. So that is what that is why this second innings is very special to me. But talking about who we are and what we exactly do. So currently, Build Fast with AI, if I were to summarize who we are in a single line, I would just say that we enable AI ideas to reality. So, right. What we realized is, if you look at one observation from we working in this generative AI field for the last 2 years, is that, so let's say if this is the amount of updates that are happening in AI domain as of today, only this much is something that people are using. So if there are 100 updates happening in generative AI as of today, individuals or companies are not even able to leverage 5% of 10% of it in their daily life, right? So we try to aim to bridge this gap. So whatever is the latest knowledge in generative AI, how can we help individuals and companies leverage that? So that is our main motive here. And as a part of this, we do a lot of initiatives. So primarily, Build Fast with AI has started as a community. So currently, we are a community of more than 15,000 members, where we regularly meet during weekdays, weekends to discuss on new topics on generative AI. We do conduct a lot of online and offline events as well. And all in all, we have conducted more than 150 plus AI workshops on different topics. So our last workshop was on DeepSeek, which again had around 400 people attended. So it was one of the very good sessions that we have done. So we have also done sessions on fine tuning. We have also done sessions on chat with PDF. So a lot of applications that we have covered before. And apart from workshops, what else do we do? So we also work with a lot of startups and corporates to help them integrate generative AI into their product portfolios. So if you are a company who is looking to integrate generative AI into your own startup or maybe into your own products, you can reach out to us. We can help you through our consulting arm as well. So all in all, over the past many years, over the past 2 years, me and the team included have built more than 200 plus AI applications. So these applications range from simple POCs to applications that are now being used by lakhs of people. So we have done it all in terms of generative AI, workshops, courses, events, everything. So we are like a one-stop shop for generative AI. If you want to learn, implement, scale, so we are here to help you with that. And one of our flagship courses that we offer is a 8 week long generative AI launchpad course. So the idea is we will take anyone from 0 to 1 in generative AI through this course. So I will share more details about this very shortly. But yeah, so this is one of our flagship offering that will help you get started with your generative AI journey. So what is the agenda? So what are the things that you will learn in this session today? So the first thing that you will get to know is what are AI podcasts? So what podcasts are exactly there? And we will give you a free tool that we have created. So we have created our own studio, AI studio, which is called Build Fast Studio. So I'll show you how you can create free AI podcast using our platform. And we will not just show you the tool, we will also show you the secrets also. We will also show you the code as to how we created it from scratch, so that even if you want to build an application like we have built, you should be able to do that. And then we will also show you open source version of NotebookLM. So this is a tool by Google, which is one of the most popular AI tools that are available in the market today. So we at Build Faster AI we have created an open source version of it. So I will show you how we created it and what are all the things that you can need to take care of while creating this. And if you stay till the end, we will also show you some bonus as well. The bonus part, we will show you a Hindi news podcast and we will also show you a live AI agent. So you can actually call an AI agent and talk. So that is what we will be showing you if you stay till the end. So there are two bonus parts today where we will show you both Hindi news podcast and we will also show you how you can create a live AI agent. So yeah, so these are the things that we are going to broadly cover. So so let's get started with what AI podcasts are exactly and why are we doing this. So first of all, I think I don't remember seeing any podcast culture uh, 10 years back, right? 10 years back, while I was, or even 5 years back, or even 6 years back, I didn't see a lot of podcast culture in India, at least, right? So there were some podcast and trends there, but in the last 5 6 years, so there has been a tremendous increase in this way of consuming knowledge, right? So the numbers are very evident. So if you look at the numbers of podcasts around the world as of now, so as of today, there are around 4.3 million podcasts, like 43 lakh podcasts that are available in the world today, right? And there are around 550 million people who are listening to podcasts every month, right? And it is also said on an yearly basis, at least 30 to 40% of everyone on earth is listening to podcasts, which is easily good billions of people, right? So billions of people are listening to podcasts. So this as a category has been there for many years, I believe, but it is recently gaining a lot of traction. So even if you look at the Indian aspect, right, even in India we are actually seeing a lot of people doing podcasts these days, and some popular YouTubers or podcasters are actually having some billions of views even in India, right? So we are at a cusp of seeing this podcast revolution where everyone wants to listen to podcast. Even personally also, whenever I go for a walk, whenever I go for a run, so I try to listen to a podcast. But this era in this era, we don't have to rely on someone else's podcast, but we can create a podcast on our own topic. So that is what the entire goal of this session is also. So having said that, what does it take? So there are lakhs of podcast, crores of podcast episodes that are available in the market today. So if you want to create a podcast as of now, so what are the things that you need to do, right? So let us keep AI out of the way for a second and just think about the process of creating a podcast, right? So the first thing is you select a topic, right? You select a topic. It could be anything. It could be about, let's say, global warming. It could be about some podcast on artificial intelligence. It could be on some cancer prevention. It could be on anything. So you select one topic and then you research on that topic. So research could be in two ways. So if you are doing a single person podcast, so let's say if you're doing a single person podcast, you will have to do a lot of research by yourself in terms of finding the good content, getting understanding everything that is happening in the domain, or you will have to find some expert in the field. So you either research everything by yourself, or maybe you find someone who is relevant enough and you create that. So once that is there, you actually create a transcript. So you do, let's say, want to create a podcast on rise of AI in education. So I have selected a topic. Now I go to internet and I do a lot of research by myself. So once I do a research, I will create a transcript for it. So then what I will do is I'll take my mic and I'll record the entire podcast, right? And then I will edit it and then I'll publish it, right? So, consider that we are doing a single person podcast. We will also cover about multiple people speaking to each other as well in a while. But if I want to create a podcast as of today, so I will have to go through all the steps one by one. So, one, two, three, four, five, and six. So, these are the six steps that I need to go through. So, if I have an idea as of today to actually create, let's say, a half an hour podcast or a 1 hour podcast, so how much time would it take on average? So maybe 1 week, maybe 1 week. If the topic is a little bit complex, 1 month. Or maybe if you're already very good at that topic, you will probably still take 3, 4 days. Right. So to create a podcast episode, it generally takes weeks of time, hours and hours of effort. Right. So currently, let us assume that all this process is taking 1 week. What if I told you we will decrease this 1 week and we will convert this into 1 minute, right? So we can, instead of spending 1 week and countless number of hours, so we will condense this 1 week process into 1 minute. So that is what we will try to do with AI podcast generator. Exactly that. And here there is no over promising, under delivering. So we will probably generate a podcast in under a minute, right? So how do we exactly do that, right? So what is AI doing in this place? So let us try to understand. So the first thing is, let's say once you select a topic, so selection of the topic you can still do, or you can still ask AI to choose it for you. But let's say you have chosen a topic. So let's say I want to do a podcast on, let's say, cancer prevention, or maybe let's say any topic like that. So let's say I want to select a topic and then I want to create a podcast. So research can be done by AI and engaging script can be written by AI. So we can make AI record the audio by itself, and we can also edit it. Or maybe since AI is recording the audio, we might not need to edit it a lot also. But the otherwise, the thing is, so all the steps that actually take a lot of time, so we can offload it to AI. So instead of me creating, so let's say if I create podcast by myself, so I take 1 week. But if I take AI's help, AI tools help, and then I can create within 1 minute. So that is what we will try to do. So now you might ask me, okay, so sounds too good to be true, but how can I create a podcast from scratch in under a minute? Let me show you how, and that too for free. So let's try to create a podcast in under a minute and see if that holds any water. Is it of good quality, or is it some random voice or blabbering here and there? So how will we do that? So for that, we will be using a tool called Buildfast Studio. So Buildfast Studio is an advanced AI platform built by Buildfast with AI. So sorry, so it's actually built by Buildfast with AI, right? So this platform actually allows you to chat with some latest AI models, like DeepSeek, O3 models, GPT-4 Claude models, and so on. So we also have a lot of innovative AI tools and apps. Will also you can also interact with hundreds of different famous celebrities, and whoever goes through our course will get unrestricted access to this platform. So what does so I'll just show you a demo instead of telling you the stories about Build Fast Studio. So let me directly show you Build Fast Studio and then do that. So to access Build Fast Studio, you have to go to this link apps.buildfastwithai.com/AI podcast. So let me go to this link and let me show you how you can create a podcast by yourself. So I'm going to apps.buildfastwithai.com. Okay. So in this, as you can see, there are hundreds of different apps. So there are some education apps, there are some character apps, there are some health related apps, and so on and so forth. So what we will be interested is we'll be interested in creating an AI podcast. So let me click on that. So in this, it's actually very simple for you to create a podcast from scratch. So this is how the interface looks like. And the only thing that you will need to do is to enter the topic and enter some of the parameters related to it, and you will have the podcast ready. So let's say I want to listen. So let's say if I'm going for a walk today and I I hear a very lot of bad things about eating sugar. So why is it even bad? So on and so forth. So let's say uh, my podcast topic would be negative effects of sugar. So if you wanted to focus on a particular aspect of this, so you can mention a subtopic also. So this could be the main topic, and you can ask a certain subtopic as well. But for now, let me just keep it plain. And currently, as you can see, you can generate anywhere between 2 minutes podcast to 5 minutes podcast. If you want any longer, you will have to be a premium member to use it. But again, you can still use it to create 5 minute podcasts. So you can choose different voices currently. So there are the first two are the first one and third one are female voices, and second one and fourth one are male voices, if I'm not wrong. So, but you can just choose this. And currently, this platform we support English language widely. So you can see you can choose English and you can create podcasts. So I just entered the topic: negative effects of sugar, 5 minutes, uh, voice style, and the language that I want. And let me just click on generate podcast. So you can see every step from researching to writing script to generating audio to editing. So AI is doing by itself. So let us just wait for a couple of seconds while AI does all the heavy lifting for us. So it's currently thinking. In the first step, it has done some research. And in the second step, it is actually writing some script. And in the third step, once it is done writing script, it will actually generate some audio also. And then we will be able to hear that.
Is it like a multi-agent framework where you have agents for all the stuff, or is it all in single agent?
So currently for this, we are employing a very simple agent where some research is being done. And we will also show you how you can spin off a simple version of this as well. So it
But
has
this is
written
all
this.
one agent only, right? This is not a multiple agent, correct?
Currently, it's a single agent, yes.
Okay, fine.
Hey, Satvik, so do we get it? Like, can we change the script or can we add anything in the script?
Uh, yeah, so currently in this tool, no. But I'll show you if you
Mhm.
want to generate your own script and do it, you can also do that.
Cool.
Okay, so let me just play this audio and see if this is any good.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of Health and Lifestyle Matters. Today, we're going to talk about something that's in virtually every processed food item we eat: sugar. Sounds sweet, right? But have you ever stopped to think about what this sweet substance could be doing to your body? Most of us know that too much sugar can lead to weight gain, but the adverse effects go way beyond just a few extra pounds. Intrigued? Well, let's dive right in. So, what's the problem with sugar? It's just a form of carbohydrate, right? True, but the problem lies not in the sugar itself, but in the quantity we consume and the way our bodies process it. Our bodies break down sugars into glucose, which our cells use for energy. Now, when we consume sugar in moderation, our bodies can handle it. Stop there.
So this is how. So let's say I wanted to understand about the negative effects of sugar, and instead of searching for an answer somewhere, trying to read a number of things, that is something that takes a lot of effort. So the easiest thing to do is to go to Build Fast Studio, just type the topic, and once you got everything right, just download it. So the next time when you are in cab, so the next time when you are in flight, or next time when you're going for a run, so you can just open this and listen to it. So it's a very easy way of creating or consuming podcasts. So you can just choose any topic and create this from scratch by yourself. So this is currently a free tool to use. So if you want to use it, you can go to Build Fast Studio and use it yourself. So I can try one more. So if anyone in the audience has any suggestion, so I can just generate one podcast for that also, so that you understand that this is not a programmed thing that we are showing you, but you can generate any podcast.
That's very correct. I'm super excited to be here. I don't know if you could create a podcast on sickle cell anemia, advocating for sickle cell anemia.
Okay, let's try it. Not sure if the spelling is correct, but AI is intelligent enough to understand. So let's say in this, let me add some side effects also. So let me add some side topic also, where focus on symptoms. So when someone gets this particular disease, so what happens? So I'll ask it to focus on symptoms. So let me choose a different voice this time, and let me generate. So you can see that it's thinking first, then it's writing a script as we speak, and then it will generate an audio, and then it will finalize and show it to us. So there is a question on the chat. So is it same like NotebookLM? So NotebookLM is a little bit different, because in NotebookLM there are two voices. So in whatever that I am showing you, there is only single voice. But very shortly, I will also show you how you can create a podcast with two voices also. So yeah, so this is the podcast that we have. So the thing is, the time duration might not be very much accurate, because certain languages, so on certain topics, there might be a lot of tokens. And if you select a particular voice, that voice might be very fast. So if we put it in, let's say 0.8x or something, it would probably come down. So number of minutes is in ballpark, but otherwise the content should be good. So let's listen to it.
Hello, dear listeners. Have you ever thought about what makes your blood flow so smoothly through your veins? What if something in your blood was different, causing it to behave not as it should? Today, we're going to be discussing a condition that does exactly that: sickle cell anemia. It's a disease that affects millions worldwide, yet many people are still unaware of what it really entails. So, let's dive into understanding this condition a bit better, shall we? Sickle cell anemia is a genetic condition that affects the shape and functionality of red blood cells. Now, you might be wondering, why does the shape of a red blood cell matter? Well, imagine trying to squeeze a football through a garden hose. It's not going to work too well, right? In healthy people, red blood cells are round and flexible, moving easily through blood vessels. Then there's anemia. Now, you might be thinking, isn't sickle cell anemia a type of anemia? And you're right, but anemia...
You get the point, right? So we just entered the topic, we just entered subtopic, we chose the voice, and we have it going right away. So this is and a way to create a podcast very easily, and you can just click on download and you can just hear too.
That was massive. That was very powerful.
Thank you. So someone is asking, is this developed by you? Yeah, so we have developed, so all the platform, everything that you are seeing is completely developed by Build Fast with AI. Me and the team has collectively built more than 50 or 100 apps, as you can see. If you go to apps.buildfastwithai.com. So these are all the things that you see that we have built from scratch, all these apps. Okay, so you can give it a try and let us know what you feel about it. And yeah, so you can use this tool for generating quick podcasts and listening to it, download it, use it as you wish. So now what we will try to do right now is, so you have seen this, but again, there is no magic trick here, right? So I mentioned that there is some AI magic, but I am surely not any magician. But one thing that I am is an AI engineer, right? So I know how to use AI very well. So that is something that I can do. So I will also, instead of just showing you the app and asking you to log in and use it, you don't need to do that. If you want to do it, if you want to build a tool like this all by yourself, we will actually teach you how to do that for free in this session. So if you want to learn more techniques like that, you will learn tens or 20s of these techniques in our course as well. But let me show you how did we create it. So whatever podcast that you are looking at right now, uh, how did we create that? If you want to do that, how can you do it yourself? So let me, so before, okay, sorry. So what I'll do is I'll just show you some code as to how we created it. So there are two main things that are involved. I'll just give you an overview and then run the code. So whenever you are creating any podcast like this, so there are two, three main parts involved, right? So let me just erase this. Okay. So first thing that we are going to do is research and translating script. So this we are making an LLM do. So an LLM is like a large language model, which could be a GPT model, which could be a Lava model, it could be any model for that matter. So an LLM is responsible for doing research and creating the transcript. And then we will actually use a TTS model. So TTS model is what? So TTS model is nothing but a text to speech model. So basically you give the transcript to AI and it will convert the transcript into speech. So this is a TTS model. So our job is very simple. So what we will try to do is we will take a topic and we will use an LLM. We will use an LLM to create transcript. We will use a TTS model to create audio. And then our podcast is ready to hear. So as simple as that. So mainly two steps are involved. First step is transcript and second step is audio. And yeah, you can add some for creating transcript, you can add an AI agent like we have done. So, but I will show you how we have created this in a very basic version. So I'll show you a basic version of implementation and you can think about adding agents to it or maybe doing anything on top of that. So let me show you the code for it. Let me just, okay, great. So what will be, so I'll just walk you through the code very quickly so that if you want to build something like this by yourself, so you should also be able to do that. So the first step that we will be doing is to install libraries. So the first library that we'll be installing is OpenAI library. So this OpenAI library will actually help us create the transcript, and we are going to use 11 Labs. 11 Labs is a company like OpenAI, but they only create TTS models, STT models, and others. So this is like OpenAI, but just for audio models. So let me install those. Okay, let me run this. Okay. So now what I'll be doing is I'm going to use first, let us try to create the transcript, right? So for transcript, I'm actually using a O3 mini model. So GPT has, let's say if you use OpenAI, OpenAI has a lot of models. Like they have GPT-4 model, GPT-4o model, GPT-4o mini model. So they have a lot of different models. And if you're following the news, they also have these O series of models also. So O1, O1 Pro, O3. So these are all the models, O3 mini. O3. So these are all the new set of models that OpenAI has. So I'm going to use the latest model that they have, which is O3 model. So to create a transcript. So let me run this. So now I have the LLM ready to go. So first let us create the transcript and then I will walk you through how to create an audio. So now let's say I want to create a file. So let's say tell me about negative effects of sugar. So let me run this. Okay, I think there is some error with this API. So let me just stick to GPT-4o mini model or something. So what I'm doing is I'm using the same model that powers ChatGPT to actually create a script from scratch. So, but as you can see, the content that it has created is not a very good content for podcast, right? So anyone who is listening to the podcast, they just don't want to hear point one, point two, point three. So this is not something that you want to hear. So what we can actually do is, so we can actually write a prompt template good enough for us to develop a good podcast content. So let's say, give the output in the podcast format. Keep it short and simple. So this is the instruction I'm giving. Tell me about negative effects of sugar. Give me output in podcast format. Keep it short and simple. So let me run this again. As you can see, it's actually doing this podcast intro music fades and it's also giving us a lot of effects. So which I don't need, right? Music swings, this thing is also not necessary for me. So I'll just say just the content and nothing else. Just like we chat with ChatGPT, I'm telling, tell me about negative effects of sugar. Give me the output is in podcast format. Keep it short and simple. Just give me the content and nothing else. Let me run this. Right. So this is something that you can see, right? So now you have the host is actually telling, welcome to Health Matters. So where we discuss about the content about your well-being. So if you, even if you remember how the podcast that I've shown you sounds, it's actually similar to that, as you can note. And then background movement starts. And then first up, sugar can lead to something, 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 something. So you have this content that is ready to. So this is how you can create the content. Again, so for this content to be created, uh, for this transcript, we are actually doing a very simple job here, right? We are just giving it a prompt, we are getting the output and nothing complicated. But in actuality, what you can do is you can ask the AI model to search the internet. You can ask it to search a website and get some relevant links, and you can do a lot of stuff, but keeping it very simple as possible. So this is the first step done. So the first step of podcast creation, we are able to generate it successfully using an LLM, right? And what is the next step? The next step for this is to use a TTS model, right? A TTS model, the basic function of the TTS model is it will take a transcript and then it will convert into audio. So that is what we will try to do with 11 Labs. So you can go to 11labs.io, their website, and you can actually try out different voices, different models yourself. So you just go to their website, just do a quick login, go to their app. So here you see a lot of different uh, voices that are available. So you can just click on text to speech. And I have the statement. So welcome to, I'll just say welcome to AI podcaster session by Build Fast with AI. I'll just say, hope you are having fun. So this is the transcript that I have, and I can, just like I chose a GPT model to generate transcript, I can just choose 11 Labs model. So 11 Labs also has 3 different models. So I can just choose this model. I'm choosing 11 Flash V2 model. And what am I telling? So I'm asking it to convert this into an audio. And I can choose the voice also. So I want this to be in a male voice. So I'll just choose this model, Arnold. So let me click on this. Say add to my voices. Okay, there is some error. Okay, let me choose a male voice. Yeah, so I chose Adam model. And let me just generate speech.
Welcome to AI Podcaster Session by Build Fast with AI. Hope you are having fun.
All right. So as you can see, I have just typed the topic here, and within few milliseconds, actually, I'm able to generate the podcast, the audio file as well. So let me run.
Welcome to AI Podcaster Session by Build Fast with AI. Hope you are having fun.
Right. So this is the simple logic that we will be using. So once we have the transcript, we will actually use AI model to actually create the audio file. So that is what we were also doing in our website, where we created content using AI, and then we are using another AI to generate content for it. Right. So if you want to try this, you can go to 11labs.io and you can just reach out to that. And then let us go to the code back again, and let me show you how you can do that with code as well. So first we have generated content. So transcript part is clear to you, I'm guessing. So let me run this as well. So we are now able to create. So let me just run this. Okay, so now I have initiated my this thing. So I can just say, hey, what's up, guys? So let me run this.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So I have the audio ready. In this, I'm not using their application, but I'm using their code. So I'm using their simple library that they have given to update this. So that's how simple it is. So I'm also telling, welcome to AI Podcaster. Welcome to the AI Podcaster workshop by Build Fast with AI. So if I run this.
Welcome to the AI Podcaster Workshop by Build Fast with AI.
So this is how I'm able to do this, right? So you can actually choose between voices. So if you go to 11 Labs AI, so you are able to choose between different voices. So that is what I was doing here as well. So I'm just choosing, I'll be using Rachel's voice, and I will be using model is 11 Flash V2, and I'm just running this. So you can change between different voices. You can do everything by yourself. And this is how you can do this from scratch. So one other thing that you can do when you're working with 11 Labs is that, so we've also seen that 11 Labs has different models, right? So they also have this multilingual model. So you can actually generate a model. You can actually generate audio in Hindi also. So let's say I'm asking this question, "Aaj aap kaise ho?" So you can just run this, and you can also get some Hindi audio on the go.
Aaj aap kaise hain?
Right. So if your content is in Hindi or maybe in other Indian languages or any other languages also, the idea is very simple. So what we will try to do is we'll just give the model, we will just choose a multilingual model, and we will just give the text in that format, and we are going to get audio that we can download, and then again use it in any way and form. So the second part is also done, right? So what we were able to do is that we have used an 11 labs model where we have just taken the model as it is, and we have just taken this as it is, and we are okay, sorry. So we have just taken the transcript and we were able to generate audio. So now to our podcast to be generated very well, so we need to connect these both pieces. So we were able to successfully do this part. And we were also able to successfully use a TTS model also. But now we should be able to connect these two. So I give a topic. So it should automatically create a transcript. This transcript should be passed through an audio, and then it should create us a podcast. So this is what we will try to do in the next step. Okay. So now this is the, let's say I can just change it to create podcast. Right. So what I'm just doing is I will just take in some text, and then I'm just sending it to this function to create an audio. So let me just run this and create podcast. You can just type the text. So if you run this, you can just see it will actually run this.
The first Nobel Prize winner was Wilhelm Röntgen in 1901 for physics.
Okay, I think in this. So in this step, as you can see, I'm just, let's say, create podcast, negative effects of sugar, single paragraph, podcast. Okay. So let me run this. So it says, welcome to today's episode where we will dwell into negative effects of sugar on our health. And then it's taking a couple of seconds to actually.
Welcome to today's episode, where we delve into the negative effects of sugar on our health. Consuming excessive amounts of sugar can lead to a myriad of health issues, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease.
Right. So this is how we got it, right? So in this step, if you look at it, so what is exactly happening? So we are actually taking the LLM. So we are actually using an LLM. So whatever text that we are giving, so that text is being passed through an LLM first. So in the first step, in this 2 lines, it's actually creating transcript here. Right. And as you can see in the next step, what is happening is we are creating the audio. So this is how simple it is. So to create a podcast, even if you are using code also, so you can see how small the code is. Take in the text, create podcast in a single line, and create transcript in a single line, and then you pass it to another model to do that. And you can also choose podcast in different topic also. Let's say I ask, what is quantum computing? Write in 5 lines.
Quantum computing is a cutting-edge technology that leverages the principles of quantum mechanics to process information. Unlike classical computers, which use bits as the smallest unit of data, 0 or 1, quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits.
Right. So as you can see, this is how we were able to take. So give it any topic, and then we were able to convert this into this. So you can also, in the similar fashion, what you can do is you can also create within different languages also. So if you are using an 11 labs multilingual model, you can choose Hindi, Telugu, or maybe other languages. So whatever languages that uh, 11 Labs supports, you can actually generate all those language podcasts as well. So this is how simple it is. Just using 2-3 lines of code, we are able to generate transcript, and with 2-3 lines of code here and there, we are able to generate audio. So that is how simple it is to use generative AI, right? So many people who might have not done a lot of generative AI before. So when you signed up for this particular workshop, you might be thinking that, okay, creating an AI podcast, if it is a tool I can use, but if it is code, maybe I can't do. So this is what you might have felt. But even if you are someone who is, so let's say 66% of people, or maybe 70% of people who said they're intermediate level at coding. So if you are someone who is intermediate level of coding, I think you can easily digest this amount of code at a time, right? For experts in coding, I think this is nothing, right? 4 lines of a code is simple. And even for the people who have no coding experience, so around 15% people, or maybe 20% people have mentioned that they have never coded in their life. But you can see how simple it is to write code. Just choose the model and invoke the model to create this. So even if you learn, or maybe even if you're open to digesting 5 lines, 10 lines of code at a time, you can still generate an AI application from scratch. So this is what we try to focus in our generative AI launchpad course also. So where we will teach you some basic concepts around generative AI, we will give you the code examples, we will give you very clear explanation and guidance, so that you are able to create generative AI applications by yourself, and not just superficially, but you will really understand how you can do that and develop them by yourself.
Hi, sir. I have a
So
question.
yeah, go ahead.
So, sir, the thing is, if we create podcasts using this code instead of using the platform which you suggested, is there any token limit, or can we do as many podcasts as we want?
So the thing is, in our so let's say if you are using code itself, you will have to pay for the 11 Labs API, and you will also have to pay for API of OpenAI. But if you are using our platform, it is actually free to use, but you will the usage is limited. You can't generate unlimited number of podcasts, but we will give you around good number of, let's say, 4 or 5 podcasts credits that you can generate on a daily basis initially.
Okay, so basically you need the API key, which is paid.
So yeah, whenever you are generating uh, uh, model, whenever you're generating podcasts using our platform, we are actually subsidizing it, you can call it. But we have done a lot of optimizations on the back end. So we are using far more optimized models. We are using different models so that our costs are very low. So the thing that you are seeing is not very optimized version, but in our code that we have deployed on the website, so that's more optimized version.
Okay, sir. Sir, just to make things easy to understand, if you're doing this way, it's like running Linux. But if you're using your platform, it's like using Windows. Is it correct?
No. So my using our platform is like using tool. Using this is like doing code. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So now that being said, so let us go to the next part, right? So whenever you are creating a podcast, so you know about a single person podcast, but there will be some podcast where there are multiple people also, right? So you might have experienced Notebook LM. How many of you have used Notebook LM before? Uh, Anyone who has used, you can say yes on the chat. Okay. Okay. Good number of people have used it. Okay. So Notebook LM is, again, if you have not used it, I would strongly recommend you to check it out. But the idea with Notebook LM is that, so Notebook LM, in this podcast that we have generated so far in the lecture, there is a single person speaking. But what if we want to generate a podcast where two persons are speaking? So there is person A telling about something, then there is a person two telling about something else. So if they are conversing amongst themselves, so how can that happen? So that is what we will try to cover. So if you look at Notebook LM, you can go to notebooklm.google, and let's say I go to try NotebookLM. So you can see that I have already created a good number of podcasts myself. So what you can do is you can just upload a YouTube video, or you can just upload anything. You can just upload any tool like that and just create a podcast. So let's say I'll just show you one example for people who have not used it before. So now what you can do is you can upload a PDF. So let's say you have a PDF, or maybe you have a research paper that you want to read, but you are not able to understand it yourselves. Right. So what you can do is you can just take that PDF and upload it within NotebookLM, and you can just create a podcast on top of this. So let's say what I do is, let's say this is the PDF that I have. So I just drag and drop the PDF into this. Okay. I can just say add source. So I can just drag and drop one PDF file. I have uploaded the PDF file, and then I can click on the word. I can just click on audio overview. So whenever I say audio overview, so what will happen is this PDF will be converted into a conversion between two people. So let me just click on generate. So basically what happens is, you can just take any YouTube video, you can take a PDF, you can take a document, you can take a presentation, or even you can take your handwritten notes also, and then you can upload it, and you can have an AI model convert that into a podcast that you can listen. So whenever you're creating a new podcast, it will take around 3 to 4 minutes for you to create. So you'll have to be patient for that to happen. So there is no need to stick around. So we will just come back here in a few minutes, and then we will see if you're able to use it again. Right. So the thing is, this was one of the most popular tool that was available, like when it got released. So it got very famous. Uh, and again, there was someone on Twitter who created an open source version of this. So in this platform, as you can see, you can just upload any file and create a podcast on it, but there is no code. So let's say if you want to create a code on top of this, you cannot do it yourself. So, but there is someone on Twitter who has created a open source implementation of this from scratch and made it all open source. So no prizes for guessing. So I was the person who actually created a open source version of it, and I have uploaded it on Twitter. So many people, like even people from Google, have also appreciated this. So this got around some thousands of likes, and it is uploaded here. So I will just show you the tweet, or maybe I can just show you the GitHub repository that I have created. So basically what I have done is, whatever Google is doing on their website, so I have created a version where I have broken out part into several parts, and then I have created a detailed code for you to do that. So what I'll do is I'll just walk you through the code. So the code file, again, as mentioned, everything is open source, so you can access the code and everything. So, but since you are on the call with me directly, so I'll just walk you through the code very quickly, and you can also run it by yourself and let us know if you are facing any issues that way. But let me just go back and show you. Okay, so it's been around a month since I've created, but you can see that it only has a single file, and it actually got very popular. So let me show you the code and how it works. So yeah, so even in this, the logic is very simple. So first you generate a podcast transcript. So the idea is whenever you are creating podcast uh, for the applications like this, you will have to use a specific format. So you can go through the code and try to understand it in detail. So this is how the format should look like. The format should be something like a speaker one speaks something, then speaker two will start, then so on and so forth. So it should be a back and forth conversation between two speakers. So then I'm actually using a model called FALA's large dialogue model. So large dialogue model will allow us to use two voices in a single model. So that is what I'm trying to use in this. And if you run this code, and again, this is a very simple piece of code, which is under 50 lines. So you can run this code and you can just generate a podcast by yourself. And if you want to, so let's say this code is again a bit complicated for you. So what you can do is we have also created an application also, a simple Streamlit app that you can directly use it by yourself. So before I show you the output and how this works, so let me just enter some topic. So I already have my APIs key saved somewhere. So let me go to file. So let me copy my API key from somewhere. So you can go to this website called FALAI. So this actually gives you an API key for you to run the model. So while this is loading, so I'll just quickly talk about the course also. So our course on generative AI is starting in the first week of March, right? So it's a new course which is 8 weeks long, so which will take you from 0 to 1 in generative AI. So that is starting next in just 2 weeks from now. So if you are interested in knowing more about the course, if you want to get some early bird discounts on the course, so you can just say hi on the chat, and we will note that, and we will be sure to send you the promo code for the course. So if you want to know more about the course that we are offering and want to get some exclusive promo code for it, all you have to do is just to say hi on the chat. We will reach out to you and send you the exclusive promo code in Discord. So keep them coming in. So I'll keep repeating this once in a while. So if you are interested in knowing more about the course or want to do that, so you can just say hi on the chat and you can reach out to us. So you can see that I just entered some API key for LLM and I have entered API key for file. So it's actually creating a podcast content. So first it's creating transcript, then it will do that. So meanwhile, we can check on the NotebookLM as well. So it has created a 11-minute podcast. So we can try hearing that.
All right, get ready because today we're diving deep into Attention is All You Need.
Yeah, this paper
From 2017
really changed things,
kind of blew up the AI world, right? It introduced the
giving each.
So this is what you can do, right? So we have uploaded a 30 page PDF and it's condensed into a 10-minute interactive podcast. So we have created a Streamlit app. So where I gave it a topic and we see the podcast that we have created from scratch. So let me run this. Okay.
Different from classical random walks?
Great question. Classical walks have fixed probabilities, but quantum walks utilize superposition and interference for faster exploration.
Wait, superposition? Does that mean the particle can be?
So you can see the transcript also. Instead of a single speaker podcast, we are actually creating a multiple speaker podcast, right? So this is what you can actually do it. This is what my code actually does. So in the open source version that I have created. So the idea is to give you the power to choose which models you want to use, how you want the transcript to be created and all. So that is what we will be doing. So we will send the code links for this app and all the code that we have used at the end of the session. But otherwise, I'll just, so these are the core things that I wanted to cover. So there is one bonus part also, as I mentioned, that I will show you how you can create how you can talk to a live AI, and how you can also create a Hindi news podcast. So that I will cover in a while. So, but since you are waiting till here, so I just wanted to talk quickly about the course that we are offering. And if you want to get started in generative AI yourself, how can you do that, and what where can you learn things? Okay, so the idea is, if you want to learn more about generative AI and if you want to get started with that, so we have this course that people from many major companies have already taken. So this is going to be a 8 week long course that we are. It's a new version of the course that we were offering. So this has 8 modules. So where we have created this session to help you go from 0 to 1 in generative AI. So where we'll be covering many new technologies. We will be using FAL AI, we'll be using a Crew agent library, we'll be using OpenAI models, we'll actually be using DeepSeek, and we will also teach you basics of Streamlit, N8. And so there are tens of different AI topics that you will get to learn about while you go through this session. So if you want to know more about this course or want to sign up, so all you have to do is to just say hi on the chat, and we will send you the promo code to sign up for the course. And we will also help you with the registration. So if you want to reach out to us for any let's say if you are a bunch of friends, or maybe if you are a company who's looking out for consulting, or maybe some group coaching or something, feel free to shoot out a mail to me or Sakshi. This is our email ID, so you can just reach out to us for that. And I'll just quickly cover the bonus part, and then I'll take more questions. So for creating a live AI, so what you can do is you can go to this website called Qtie. You can just go to this option. Just enter your email. Hello, how are you doing?
Good day. How are you going?
I'm doing great. Can you teach me something?
Sure. What's up?
Can you teach me about AI?
Sure. AI is a branch of data science for developing intelligence. These machines perform tasks that require human-like intelligence, such as.
So there is some internet problem, that is why it might not be working, but you can go to this website directly, moshi.chat. And you can talk to this advanced AI model that can converse with you in real time. So this is also a great way of learning. So you can either choose a podcast form where you can just download and listen, or you can choose something like NotebookLM where 2 speakers are speaking, or you can also choose an interactive mode like this where you're just opening a chatbot and just having a conversation in real time. So the possibilities are endless, and now you know a good number of suggestions here. So these are the core things that I wanted to cover in the lecture today. So with this thing, the lecture part of what I wanted to cover is over. Okay, I think thank you everyone for joining the call today. It's been great. Hope you all learned something new, and hope to see you all in our future courses and workshops. So until then, we'll meet you.